Hey, how's it going? It's Will Ripley here with Campfire Guitar Star. In this lesson, we're gonna get into 3 kind of easy to intermediate lead guitar kind of stuff. And when I say intermediate, I really feel like almost all lead guitar stuff is gonna be kind of starting at intermediate, especially if you wanna get all those like bends, vibrato, and some fast licks and some riffs and stuff like that. So what I have here for you is 3 lead guitar songs. We're gonna be covering Lenny Kravitz's Are You Gonna Go My Way? We're gonna cover I Want You, She's So Heavy by the Beatles, and we're also gonna cover Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. Okay, so I thought it was only appropriate to play the Flying V today because both Lenny Kravitz and Jimi Hendrix both have actually signature Gibson Flying Vs. But anyways, I love the Flying V. It's such an icon, and especially for lead guitar. And so, yeah, stick around to the end of the lesson. We're going to get you access to our free guitar course. Also, you can download the PDF for this lesson. It'll be complete with all the tabs and scales and all the stuff that you need to follow along with this lesson. You'll find all that stuff in the comments and description below. Now, the reason that I picked these 3 songs is that they all have something in common. They all have what I call the lick, okay? It's the lick, okay? It's this one that you maybe have heard before. Can play it anywhere too. And there's all kinds of different approaches that you can do with this same lick, okay? You can play it slow. You can play it fast. Right? There's all kinds of different approaches with it. And I think that's one of the most beautiful thing about lead guitar is that expression and the improvisation. And I'm sure that you could probably hear in this already that, I mean, if you've listened to lead guitar, electric lead guitar, I mean, you've heard that lick somewhere. It's all over blues and rock. And these 3 songs, the Lenny Kravitz one, the Beatles song, and the Jimi Hendrix song, all have this lick, the lick, in each one of those 3 songs. So let's go ahead and learn the lick first, and then we'll break into these 3 songs, and you'll see how it's all over these 3 songs. You with me? All right, let's do it. All right, so let's just go ahead and we're gonna grab this scale up on the 12th fret, and we're gonna play our E minor pentatonic scale, and I'll make sure that this is in the PDF for you, available for download below. But what that scale looks like, we're gonna start on the 12th fret here, and we're just gonna go 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. And of course, I'm referring to my fingers there. So if you think about 1, 2, 3, 4, if that's 1 fret at a time, then we're gonna kind of skip 2 and 3 by going 1 to 4, and then 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. Okay, so that's your E minor pentatonic scale, and actually where 2 out of the 3 songs that we're going to be learning today is based out of. But we're also going to learn how to play that an octave lower and all kinds of stuff. But like I said, let's learn the lick first. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up to the G string on the 14th fret here with your 3rd finger. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to bend this string, and our target note is really 2 frets higher. So if you're ever wondering what note you should be bending to, you can always go up to the 16th fret, kind of like get that in your ears so you know what note you're trying to hit. And then you can bend the 14th fret up to that note. So if you're trying to go, and then you go, right? You're trying to hit that bend and you can tell that it's off, or a lot of times, and really what happens most commonly is that guitarists will fall short of the note. So we're trying to hit this note, and then a guitarist will go, right? It's like low, it's too flat, okay? And so how we make sure that we get our bends in tune is you really need to get more muscle on the string. And I really literally mean that. What you want to do is actually load up 3 fingers all on one string. So we're going to do the bend with our 3rd finger. I'm going to line up my 2nd finger and my 1st finger. As you can see, they're actually really just falling on the frets behind my 3rd finger, and that's kind of what you want. But it just kind of so happens to work that way in this case. And in, say if you're way lower where the frets are further apart, I still have my my second and first finger lined up behind my third finger, but they aren't necessarily on the fret. So it's just, like I said, literally just putting more muscle on the string. So we've got our second finger muscle and our first finger muscles all loaded up there, and that's going to help you just, you know, floor that bend, you know, up into the ceiling or down towards the ground. Okay, and going to give you more control for those vibrato things, like, you know, when you're adding vibrato to bends, which is definitely an advanced technique. Anyway, so on with the lick. So that's our very first move, is bending that note in tune. We're going to release that bend. And what's cool here is that, as you can see, I just did one pick so far. And we kind of really technically hit at least 2 notes there, right? So we got our first one, up to our second one, back to our first one, okay? All with one picked note. And then from here, because our fingers are all loaded up, this is beautiful, because what we can do is actually just do a pull off to the 12th fret, okay? And again, all with one pick, okay? So I hit the string, bend, release, and then pull off to the 12th fret. Okay, and this is really the money right here in this lick. And you want to stop this, rewind the video, rewatch this, get the tab, like, study this. Okay, so we got, and again, all with one pick. So really there's a few motions here. We got a 1, bend 2, release 3, and a pull off 4. And so what I would recommend, if you got that lick right now, then pause the video and just work on this for yourself, or we rewind it and get these motions down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and our final note is just strictly the 14th fret of the D string. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we finish on the D string 14th fret. There's all kinds of different approaches that you can do with this. You can play it fast, you can play it really slow, you know, and of course I'm adding like extra pick notes and all that kind of stuff. But in this case, we are going to play it pretty standard in the sense that we're just going to go through all those 5 motions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to just kind of like do it in a pretty like liquid sequence, okay? And that's the lick, okay? And again, I call it the lick because, man, it's just all over blues, lead guitar, electric, acoustic, blues, rock, you know what I mean? It's just all over the place. So once you get this down into your playing, yeah, you're gonna just have a lick under your belt that's just like so classic, okay? So, okay, and maybe you're hearing that it's actually sounding really similar to the song that I played on the intro, which is Are You Gonna Go My Way by Lenny Kravitz, okay? So that second, like the lead part that comes in, it really does this lick, okay? However, there's just a couple extra notes, 14 on the A string, and then you just climb up D string 12, 14 on the D string. So, and you can also throw in a low string if, like this is a great song for 2 guitar players, obviously, because we've got our low part and our high part. But yeah, so, but yeah, you can throw in that low E string. Pretty sure the lead guitar doesn't actually do that, but it still sounds cool if you're just playing it by yourself. So we could do the lick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we got, and you can hit that low string, so. You can see I'm doing this finger roll with my 3rd finger, so. All right, so you don't really want to lift up your finger and put it onto the A string when you do that last little riff. What you want to do is really roll your finger over onto the tip and then come up on that little sequence at the end. Okay. Now, just while we're on this topic, so this is the lead part, like really guitar number 2 on "Are You Gonna Go My Way?" But just know that actually on the song, he's doing a pre-bend. Okay. So what that means is instead of hitting this very first note without the bend, he's actually bending the note first, hence the term pre-bend, and then releasing it. And then, but the lick that we keep on talking about in this lesson, the sequence follows as it would normally after that. So, okay, so that's just a slightly different approach to the lick. So as you know, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we finish the lick. But in this case, we're going to pre-bend. If you want to nail the guitar number 2 and "Are You Gonna Go My Way?" and then you pre-bend and release. Okay, so that's the lick and guitar number 2 for "Are You Gonna Go My Way" by Lenny Kravitz. Now, check this out. We're going to continue along here, and if you've tuned in for any of my lessons before, you know that Mike B and myself, we always do this with Campfire Guitar Star, is we're always going teaching you songs, but also we're teaching you theory and techniques at the same time. Okay, I really believe that that's probably the most fun way to, play guitar, but also become like a real guitar player. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play guitar part number 1, but we're also going to be playing this E minor pentatonic scale an entire octave down. So what that means is we're going to be grabbing this, as you know. Now here's the thing, is that you can actually play this anywhere, like 1 fret lower. You can keep on going. It really depends on what key you're in, right? So if we go all the way down to 7 and 5, and we just keep on going all the way down to, say, 1st fret. Of course, we're just changing the key of what we're playing here. But what my point is that we're going to play this lick an entire octave down. So if you get down to your 1st fret, you can actually go down 1 more. So that's your 1st and your 3rd fret using the lick. But now if we go down 1 more fret, you can actually incorporate open strings now. So we're going to use our 2nd fret on the G string. And a lot of times I play this with either my 2nd or my 3rd finger. The 1st finger I just find a little bit too tricky to get that bend the way I want it. So let's just try it with just using the same finger that we were before. So our 3rd finger, again, you can just load up your 2nd or your 2nd and your 1st finger behind it so you get more muscle on the string. And we're going to do the exact same lick, but in this case just replacing fretted notes with open strings. Okay, so what that's going to look like is we got 1, 2, 3, pull off for the 4, and then we're going to land on the D string 2nd fret. So you can see it's exactly the same, and in fact it is identical in the sense that it's the same notes that we were playing up here. But it's an entire octave lower, which means that you're going to have the same notes just played an octave lower, or they just sound lower, and they're going to sound like this now. Okay, so we can kind of fake it, like pretend that we were playing the lick. But of course I'm not actually fretting notes, and it's kind of silly to be pressing my fingers there, so we're just going to be playing it like this now. So 3rd finger, or the 2nd finger, whichever is maybe the most, whatever's working. Just whatever works, man, at the end of the day. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 to 2nd fret. Do that little finger roll, just like we did up top on the 12th and 14th fret. 2nd fret of the A, open D, and finishing off on the 2nd fret of the D string. So and this one does not have a pre-bend, and so we're going to just start on the home bass. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, finishing on that note, and then the climb up. So let's just go ahead and play that slow, and of course remember you can get the tabs for this right below, but here we go. So 1, so we'll go like down, 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 go. going to grab the lead part. Okay, so as you can see, I was just playing the exact same lick pretty much, except for that pre-bend, which is just a stylistic added choice that the guys in the Lenny Kravitz band decided to choose when they were writing and recording it. And the only missing part is that open string, which, you know, if you're one guitar player, and, you know, it just kind of fills it out a lot more. And it's actually what guitar number 1 is doing. Okay, so all we're going to do is just add in that low string at the end of the phrase. So, and then we just start it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Climb up, low string. Kind of an advanced move. You can see I'm hitting my my low string on the 12th fret with my thumb. Anyways, that's just bonus points. So let me know in the comments below if you got the 10-point bonus. So the next tune I want to get into is I Want You, She's So Heavy, that's in brackets, by the Beatles. And this is a great melody, okay? So, and I encourage you, and maybe you've heard me say this in other lessons, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this is important. So when you go to learn a song, okay, when you go to learn a riff, a solo, a chord progression, a drum beat, whatever it is that you're trying to learn musically, it really, really, really helps when you like really know how it goes, just kind of with your ear, and it's in your brain and in your body already, okay? And then the instrument just really becomes an outlet for that. So in this case, what we want to do is really get this melody down, and it's going to be helpful for you to listen to the song and kind of know the lyrics. And it's great because the guitar matches the lyrics and you can just follow along with it in that sense. So it's super easy to learn, and that's partly the reason I chose it. And it's also going to incorporate the lick that we talked about. So that's cool. And we're just going to switch keys here. And so I'll go ahead and perform it for you, and then we'll go from there. So here we go. All right, so it might look kind of crazy and there's a lot of notes and stuff, but again, once you kind of know the lyrics and the melody from the original song, this is a great tune to get under your fingers. It's going to incorporate that same lick that we've already learned in the Lenny Kravitz song, and we're just going to switch it into a different key. So what this means is that now we're going to start our A minor pentatonic scale off the 5th fret. And again, that chart and scale will be for you in the PDF below. So what that scale is going to look like real quick is just 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. And what specifically we're going to do is grab the 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the D string. And that's going to be where we start the melody here. So, I want you so bad, baby. Okay? And there's the lick. Okay? So we got, I want you. And so that's just climbing up the pentatonic scale with that bend. I want you so bad. So there's the lick right there. So, I want you so bad. You can see it just follows the lyrics. It's beautiful in that sense. And then we got the next part. I want you. So again, just following the lyrics, a lot of bends there. You, I want you so bad. So there's that same line again. So I want you so bad. Okay, so again, just climb up, and then we start the lick. And there's that 1, 2, 3, 4, all with one pick, okay? So I hit the first one with the pick, and the rest is all the left-hand technique. 1, 2, 3, pull off. And we can pick that last note, okay? So, I want you so bad, babe, it's driving me mad, it's driving me mad. Okay, so what's happening in there is we're just going to essentially just descend down that minor pentatonic scale. And so that last phrase. That's really the trick there, is hitting that 8th fret of the pinky finger on the low string and down. You could optionally hit the 3rd fret of the A string here and descend down too. So what that would look like is this. Okay. Pick your poison, whichever one, they both are technically correct, okay? Now what's beautiful about this is all you do is you move it up to the D minor pentatonic scale, play the exact same licks, the exact same kind of space in between the frets, the exact same licks, the exact same melody, just on different frets, okay? And that's really the key to a lot of lead guitar and blues guitars, learning your licks just in different places, and of course being able to apply that. Okay, so what we're going to do is play those exact same licks just up on the 10th and 12th fret, okay? And what that would sound like is this. There's that lick. Minus that last bit. But so my point here, guys, is learn that lick, okay? And then learn the song, like just get the song in your head, listen to it. I'm sure you'll like it. If you like rock guitar and lead guitar, and probably already know it. But again, that song is I Want You, and then in brackets, She's So Heavy by the Beatles off of Abbey Road. And of course, I'll have the PDF for you in the description and comments below, okay? So let's just move on. We got one more song to cover here, which is Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. We're going to cover the main riff. And what's cool about this one is, again, it's going to use the exact same lick, and it's going to be in the same key as the Lenny Kravitz song, Are You Gonna Go My Way? And it's almost funny when you play Are You Gonna Go My Way, because it's so similar to Voodoo Child. Okay, and you know, arguably, maybe you could say that if it weren't for Voodoo Child, there would be no Are You Gonna Go My Way. But I can't write the history books, so let me know in the comments below what you think. So, and maybe it'll be helpful once you actually learn the song, you'll see the similarities for yourself. So of course there's the big wah-wah pedal intro. I don't have my wah-wah pedal set up right now, but and it's really this part we're going to be focused on. Oh man, what a riff. I remember when I learned that when I was like 14 or 15 years old and just obsessed with it. But yeah, so it's pretty tricky to get this rhythm, okay? But once you get it and once you get it locked in, it's definitely going to improve your overall rhythm, your blues playing. And really what's cool is that, say if you grab a 12 string or any old acoustic guitar and play this just automatically sounds like Delta blues. Okay, and I really think that that's what Jimi Hendrix did, was he took the Delta blues and electrified it, right, with Gibsons and Fenders through big Marshall amps, but it's really cool. Once you translate that to acoustic, it just immediately sounds like Mississippi Delta old school acoustic blues, which is really, really cool. Okay, so again, we're going to be using our E minor pentatonic scale. And that'll be in that PDF for you. And of course, you can always pause and rewind. And it's really similar in techniques to Are You Gonna Go My Way? So Are You Gonna Go My Way goes something like this. And then Voodoo Child is... Okay, so we're going to start with this E power chord. So that's two notes together, a low E string and our second fret of the A string. Nice big powerful chord, hence it being a power chord. And this was a big move that Jimi Hendrix would do a lot, which was low two strings and just hitting your high two strings. Okay, so you get your low E power chord, but then just hitting the B and the E strings with an upstroke with your right hand. So, you know, like you hear that in the intro to Hey Joe. Right, there it is. So Voodoo Child is similar in that sense. So we got, and then we're gonna go right for the lick. And of course it's really fast. Okay, and again, you can use your first or your second finger. And using your second finger, you'll be able to get more muscle because your first finger will be in behind it. But yeah, so we've got that bend, release, pull off, okay, and then second fret of the D string. Okay, so what that looks like so far is, and just that in itself is really the core of Voodoo Child. So, and we just have this little variation. So again, you start out low E power chord, top two strings with an upstroke, second finger on third fret of the low E, and then you can do a little hammer on 0, right? So slam that finger, just like the speed and aggressiveness of a mousetrap, just whoosh, right on the second fret of the D string. So that second phrase, okay, and even that in itself, if just repeated, is really, again, just the core of what you're going to be hearing in Voodoo Child. So something like that sounds like this, kind of like slowed down a little bit. Right, so there's that phrase that we just worked on. You might want to pause and rewind so you get those two bits. But yeah, so nice and slow. Let's go ahead and play it. So it'll be like don, 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 don. Ready, go. Really similar to what we found in the Lenny Kravitz song, there's this finger roll technique. So, right, so don't always lift off your fingers, always try to find the easiest way to get to the next note. And a lot of times that's just rolling your fingers around. So, you know, right, so that's just activating the fretted note in different parts of my finger. So instead of always fretting on the very tip of my finger, a lot of times it'll be kind of like, you know, halfway down my pad, or like all the way down to this kind of this first knuckle area, right? So, and then the last little bit that I'm going to show you today is you're just going to grab the third frets of the high B and E strings, and that's going to get that high sound, and we're going to integrate that into the riff like so. So we've got the first part. The second part. And there's that last part. I've always found this one to be really tricky. I play it with my third and fourth fingers, as you can see. Maybe you want to play with your second and third fingers. Just, again, whatever works, whatever gets you the sound and makes it as easy as possible. Oftentimes, that's the right way. Okay, so here we go. And at full tempo, full speed, full aggression. All right, so what we went over in today's lesson was firstly the lick, what I call the lick, which is so important because you just see that all over blues and rock. And I mean, any kind of lead guitar solo in, you know, whether that's kind of like Randy Rhoads era or Albert King era or Jimi Hendrix era, you know, all of those guys know that lick and they've all incorporated it into their playing at some time, okay? So first we covered the lick and we got those, you know, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and that fifth note at the end. So it's really a 5-step movement. So get those 5 steps down and then you'll be off to the races with the 3 songs that we covered. So first we went over Are You Gonna Go My Way by Lenny Kravitz. Then we covered I Want You, She's So Heavy by the Beatles. And then we went into Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. Definitely these 3 songs were kind of statured in that way because definitely, you know, the first song that we went over, the Lenny Kravitz one, is going to be much easier than the last one we covered, Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. And but yeah, so as you could see though, that lick was inside of those 3 songs. So hopefully you enjoyed this lesson on lead guitar, and you're definitely going to want to get these riffs and this lick under your fingers. And stick around, download the PDF below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this lesson. And also on May 24th, I'll be launching our Lead Guitar Star course. So you're definitely going to want to get in tune for that. So the next few lessons that we're going to be releasing over the next couple weeks are all going to be lead guitar focused. So definitely tune in for the lessons if you want to get some lead guitar stuff going on. I know Mike B actually tonight is recording a live lesson. He's going to be covering David Gilmour, some Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton and all kinds of stuff like that. So we're here to take care of you. And if you're just getting started on the guitar, we do have a free beginner guitar system called 5-Minute Guitar, which you can get access to. As you can see, we have a book that will actually ship to your door. It's a 160-page book that goes along with our free video course. The whole thing is valued at $140, and we're just trying to help people play the guitar, and maybe that's you. And also, hey, you know, the world might be a better place with some more music in it, right? So again, my name is Will Ripley, and definitely just check the description below where you'll find access to all of our courses, our free course, get the 5-Minute Guitar book shipped to your door. We also do one-on-one webcam lessons. So man, Campfire Guitar Star is here to support you in rocking the house. And until the next lesson, keep on ripping it up.